The Alexandria Blackout was over, but the nightmare was just beginning. When the MV Kathrin finally flickered back onto the global radar on October 28th, it wasn't at a commercial dock. It was moored at the great military pier of the Alexandria port, a high-security fortress controlled by the Egyptian armed forces. For 8 days, the world had been hooded. Now the truth was blinding. Under a shroud of military secrecy, far from the prying lenses of international watchdogs, 60 containers of RDX and TNT were offloaded. The Syndicate had found their empty room. The cargo that Namibia had risked everything to stop, the cargo Portugal had stripped of its flag, was now on solid ground. By docking at a military pier, the Kathrin bypassed every standard customs check. No manifests, no safety inspections, no digital footprint. The Syndicate didn't just find a port, they found a black hole where international law is executed in silence. This level of corruption is exactly why we started this channel. The Syndicate depends on the world staying silent, but we are the echoes they can't stop. If you believe no one is above the law, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell. Join the echoes of the Unsolved 001 community. Help us shine a light into the darkest corners of the globe. The manifest finally revealed the chilling endgame. The explosives were destined for the El-Kahira Company for chemical industries, a production arm for military munitions. This wasn't just a business deal. It was a ghost transit designed to bypass the Genocide Convention. By the time the world realized where the ship was, the trucks were already moving under military escort. 150 tons of raw fire had vanished into the industrial belly of the Middle East, ready to be packed into the very steel that would fall on the front lines of a global conflict. The Syndicate didn't just win. They proved that with enough shadow money, you can shuttle enough explosives to level a city anywhere on Earth. They proved that the echoes can be muffled if the walls are thick enough and the military is paid enough. They played a game of high seas chess, and while we watched the board, they changed the rules. I want to ask you, does the fact that this ship finally docked prove that international law is a myth? If a ship can vanish and reappear in a military pier, is anyone actually in control? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. The case of the Kathrin is a terrifying reminder that our oceans remain the Wild West. We tracked the ghost, we heard the echoes, and while we couldn't stop the cargo, we ensured the world was watching. But as this investigation closes, a new, more terrifying door is opening. We are shifting our gaze from the lawless ocean to the suffocating silence of the Kenyan wilderness, a place where faith was twisted into a suicide pact and a forest became a tomb for hundreds. In April 2023, the world was shaken by a discovery that felt like a descent into the mouth of madness. Deep within the Shakahola forest, investigators began unearthing shallow graves. They didn't find just 1 or 2 bodies. They found a killing field. Men, women, and entire families who followed a charismatic madman, Pastor Paul Mackenzie, into the trees, convinced that the only way to meet Jesus was to embrace the ultimate sacrifice. But as the first graves were opened, authorities realized this wasn't just a cult. It was a mechanized nightmare. How does one man convince 400 people to walk into the woods and never come out? And what did the investigators find in those graves that changed the case from a mass suicide to a hunt for a serial killer? The Shakahola Forest Massacre. The full investigation drops this coming Tuesday at 1800 WAT. We are going inside the mind of Paul Mackenzie to uncover how a forest was turned into a graveyard. You think you've heard this story, but you haven't heard it like this. Thank you for riding with Echoes of the Unsolved 001. The ghost ship has docked, but the forest is calling. Make sure your notifications are on for Tuesday at 1800 WAT. Like this video if you stand for the victims, and I'll see you in the trees.